What's going on, guys? Pdaaaawg here, and welcome to Dose of the DAWG episode 19, where I'm going to be talking about the newly announced Ultra Street Fighter 4. It was announced during Saturday of EVO weekend, and I've got mixed feelings about it, I guess, but I guess we'll just go from the start. On Friday, actually, it was leaked some photos of Ultra Street Fighter 4 with the name wasn't leaked, but it was the characters. 5 characters were leaked, even though 4 of them were confirmed, and the other one was still mysterious. With Poison, Hugo, Elena, and Rolento being the 4 characters, and Alex, of all people, being the 5th character, but they didn't announce Alex as an actual character in Ultra Street Fighter 4. So, that was posted by an anonymous Twitter account. I don't know who it was, but they posted it, and they were correct. Everyone was like, oh, it's just a leak, you know, it's stupid, it's Photoshop, but actually it was true, so, like, how crazy is that? But, oh, by the way, as you can see, my webcam is actually covering the entire video this time, so I'm not sure if that makes much of a difference, but at least I don't have to have some like weird colors in the background or whatever. So if it does make that much of a difference, you know, by all means let me know. But anyway, so on the Saturday of EVO weekend, they actually fully announced it. They didn't give a name for it either. They still called it like the balance change, the version 2013 balance change. Then they said, no, it's more than a balance change. We're gonna have boom, 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 boom. You know. Then they started filling out characters. I think it was 5 new characters, 6 new stages, balance changes for all the characters based on fan feedback, allegedly, and what else? And all new modes and stuff. So in terms of this is like all those individually. Okay, 5 new characters. Immediately, I think everyone was hyped. Everyone was like, yes, 5 new characters. You know, because we can't believe it. Like they're actually still updating this game. 6 new stages. That's huge because they haven't updated the stages since Super Street Fighter 4. They haven't made any new stages, so that's pretty exciting. Balance changes. Well, we kind of seen that one coming, but at least you know they're still implementing it. And then brand new modes, and this is the one I'm most excited about because you know if they're actually bringing in new modes, actual new modes, I'll be pumped for it because it'll be you know because we're gonna have what do you call it? Because we might have you know championship mode or whatever. Those are like my wish list. We've got championship mode, online training mode, like all these modes that they're in other Capcom fighting games. They might actually implement them in this game. You know, like implement them for that, and it'll be so good if they actually did do that. But you know, it is Capcom, and there were some negative effects of it because it was announced on the Saturday that that 4 of the 5 new characters were indeed Hugo, Poison, Rolento, and Elena, and the 5th character is Mysterious. And I think the first half of this is talking about what we do know, and then the second half of this is talking about what we don't know pretty much about this DLC. So basically, like in terms of the 4 new characters, 4 new characters, they're not necessarily new because if you guys remember, these 4 characters have been in Street Fighter games. Like they were in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and so they're you know that's a game that pretty much runs on almost the same engine as Street Fighter 4. Like it almost plays identical except for like you know new combos and scenarios and mechanics and stuff. So it's probably really easy to just port it. And so on the one hand, I'm happy. You know, I'm still happy that they're updating it with characters and stuff. Like, I'm actually happy that you know the game that I've been playing like ever since AE like AE in like 2011 I think. Like ever since then we haven't had any new characters, and now they're finally you know having a fresh you know coat of paint on the game, and so it's finally good they're actually getting some new characters. But on the other hand, it is the same 4 characters from Street Fighter Cross Tekken, so it does seem kind of lazy if Capcom just copy paste. You know, no new characters, as in like not even like characters that they would actually have to put any work into. Like if they wanted to get any new third strike characters, like maybe like flipping Alex is one of the big ones. There was leaked, like I said in the Twitter one. Like Q is another big rumored one. Like Karen's probably still the most requested Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter character I've ever seen, and so they haven't really got any of those characters there yet. But they do have the 5th character, and no one knows who it is yet. They keep on like giving all these like, little clues and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Saturday. They also announced 10 balance changes for characters, but I won't get in. I'll make a separate Dose of the DAWG for that whenever all the balance changes come out, and I'll give you my verdict on every single balance change individually. You never know, I might have Sandman with me as well because I think I did that last time. In fact, last time I did it as part of Elemental Ocean. Fun fact. Anyway, then on Sunday, just before the Street Fighter 4 finals, they actually announced the name of it and then gave out a trailer. So it's called Ultra Street Fighter 4, and to be honest, I like that name. To be honest, because it's pretty cool how it went from Street Fighter 4 to Super Street Fighter, as in you know those supers into ultras. You know, it's pretty. I think it's pretty neat name. Like it wasn't called like Hyper Street Fighter 4 because that doesn't really make much sense. But if it was like Super Street Fighter 4 is pretty good, and then Ultra Street Fighter 4. And I'm also kind of happy that it doesn't have an even longer name, so it wouldn't be Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition version 2013, more than a balance change though, patch, DLC, game. Yeah. So at least they like simplified the name. It's no longer Super Street Fighter 4. It's now Ultra Street Fighter 4. You know, 4 words. Ultra Street Fighter 4. Easy enough to learn. You know, nice enough. So they also announced it's going to be available either as DLC or as a full retail disc. Retail disc. And if you do buy it on the disc, you get all the costumes that were released for the game absolutely free with the disc. So that's actually a pretty good deal, I would imagine, because I have all the costumes, but that was through a deal I don't really want to talk about. But basically, it was interesting enough because it does seem like a pretty enticing deal for people that haven't bought Street Fighter 4 yet. And if you haven't bought Street Fighter 4, like, so if you haven't bought it, sorry, that's a show calling the Street Fighter or Super Street Fighter 4. It's now just Street Fighter 4. Pretty much, I've been calling it generally because I'm so used to calling it Super Street Fighter 4 that now it's going to be, no, it has to be Ultra Street Fighter 4. Now it's going to be pretty weird to get used to that, but still. So in the trailer, they shown off, you know, some of the changes. If I can recall, the changes were Evil Ryu's something to do with his Tatsu. Maybe it hits further. I think you can juggle even if it hits further. So I think I'm more certain they did a medium kick Tatsu and then they went into the uppercut, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then Guy's target combo hits further. So the fierce punch and his medium punch, fierce punch target combo doesn't whiff anymore. It hits. Rufus's EX Messiah does not go over crouching opponents anymore. It hits directly. What else? I think it was something to do with like Ken's Ultra. I think something was happening at Ken's Ultra and his Ultra 1. Sorry, I can't remember half of these now. I don't know. Well, those are pretty much the ones that you got. Like, they only showed a very small snippet of changes, but in addition, they did have some other changes there. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about them yet. And then they said, oh, here introducing some new fighters. Oh, then they showed off, you know, the Street Fighter 4 artwork for the characters, and then they showed off some of the moves. It was hardly even like there was no combos. It was just moves being hit. It was just fierce punch, light punch, jumping light kick. You know, it was like just the generic moves, to be honest. And so it was kind of like, like we're not really getting much in this, to be honest. I think I might have a tab here for Ultra Street Fighter 4. Yeah, here you go. Here, I might as well show you this while I'm just being in the face cam. Here is the characters and then their Street Fighter 4 artwork. Yeah, so pretty much it just showed all the characters, you know, hitting their usual stuff. You know, just hitting light punch, heavy punch, showing a few special moves. Like I think Relento and Poison were hitting some of their special moves. Like he was hitting his, you know, what do you call it, a little thing whenever he hits you with a pole. He said it was different. It was different, like sound whenever he did it because it's Street Fighter 4, and it's interesting enough. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be doing in terms of like supers and ultras, because obviously the only thing they had in Cross Tekken was a super or cross art as well, but they have to think of like ultras for these characters as well. So they're gonna have to make new animations whether they like it or not. Someone actually said in the comments, it was a pretty good point, that their focus attack is probably just gonna be their launch, but with all the focus attacky stuff on, like the paint and whatnot, which you know, it does kind of sound true, to be honest. So I'm guessing that's what they're gonna do, because the launch, they can't really use the launch as anything, and so they'll just put it as their focus attack, and it kind of works, and it kind of makes sense because I mean, it does look a bit like a focus attack, like the launcher for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So that was basically what was going on. In the trailer was like showing off, oh, okay, now it's gonna be available, blah blah blah. Get Ultra with Ultra Street Fighter 4, very awful pun, but there you go. So that was what was going on with that, and then that was immediately like after Evo. Everyone was like, oh, Ultra Street Fighter 4, what's gonna be happening? You know, blah blah blah. You know, it's gonna be crazy. What's gonna be happening at Ultra Street Fighter 4? And then they started, you know, leaking out little bits of information. Obviously, the big questions were, what are the new stages? Who's the 5th character going to be? What are the balance changes going to be about? What are the new game modes? There's a lot of mysterious elements coming out of these announcements. So it's good that we got all this stuff, but there's still some unanswered questions. And so over the course of this week, they have been saying some stuff. There's probably going to be some more stuff by the time this video is done. So, you know, this is going to be relevant as of the day I've recorded this, which is Friday. Was it Friday, July 6th, 19th? 16th, what, 19th? There we go. So let me see the first thing I'm going to do. I guess we'll talk about the stages first of all. The stages came around about Wednesday, I believe they posted this. Yeah, it was Tuesday-ish, I think. Whenever they announced, and this is I didn't really like this move, that the 6 stages that are being ported over from Street Fighter Cross Tekken to Ultra Street Fighter 4 were revealed today. They are Half Pipe, Cosmic Elevator, Mad Gear Hideout, Jurassic Era Research Facility, Blast Furnace, and Pit Stop 109. They're all from Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which is very unfortunate. So once again, if it isn't even bad enough that they're porting the characters over, now there's not even a single new stage in this, and it's just Street Fighter Cross Tekken stages. I really didn't like that, to be honest, because it's going to be very confusing now whenever you see like Hugo versus Relento in Ultra Street Fighter 4 in the Street Fighter Cross Tekken stage. It's going to be like what game am I watching here? You know, it's going to be pretty ridiculous. So it's definitely like fusing the two games together, but the games are so similar that it doesn't really make much sense. So I'm really not a fan of this move, to be honest. Like, once again, okay, it's new stages, but they're not new though. They're not new stages. They're the same stages that we battled on in a different game, with no changes to them. Well, no stages that we see so far. Maybe they might tone down the color palette, because I mean, look at those stages. They're pretty flippin' horrific, don't you think? So anyway, so those are the stuff that was going on in terms of stages and stuff. And now here's all the hysteria regarding the 5th character here. So the first thing that came out was this, I believe, regarding the 5th, because there were like, I think at the bottom of the Ultra Street Fighter 4 thread, there was people saying, "Oh, 5th character, who's it gonna be?" Initially, I thought Azura for sure, because they were saying all these stuff like it was gonna be in the video. They said he's never been in a Street Fighter game before, like as a fighter. He's very relevant to the Street Fighter 4 series, which is up here, which there's actually a tab for that. And this will be his fighting game debut. So, very interesting. Originally I thought Azura because a few reasons. Number one, once again, Azura's Wrath was made like kind of like the Street Fighter 4 model-esque type things. I think so anyway. And so porting Azura from that game to Street Fighter 4 would have been also very easy to do, similar to the Street Fighter Cross Tekken things, because they actually did, if you remember in Azura's Wrath, in one of the DLCs, they actually had him fighting Ryu and Akuma in that game in Azura's Wrath as a DLC, and so it's probably very easy to just take him over to the other game. And I just thought, well, in addition to at the very end of the DLC, it says to be continued, you know, after his battle with Akuma. And so it's kind of like, and since there's no announcement of an Azura's Wrath 2, people were thinking, oh, he's going to be ported over to Ultra Street Fighter 4, and that's where the story continues. And if that was to happen, I would have been very upset if Azura was, because he's not a Street Fighter, like he's not even a type of Street Fighter character. He's from Azura's Wrath. Why are you porting him over? It's almost like Scorpion in Injustice. Like he doesn't need to be there. So why do you put him in there? And also because of Street Fighter 4, like if you do put a character in there like that, then at least for the 4 characters, you know, Relento, Poison, Hugo, and Elena, you know, at least that kind of makes sense because those are Street Fighter characters. But for this, it was like, he's got no relevance, to be honest, so I don't really like that. Bad Box Mega Man, I didn't even consider him because that was such a stupid idea. I wouldn't have even considered it at all. And then Ono actually came out the day before like, the stages were revealed, as you can see, and said that Azura and Bad Box Mega Man were not going to be the 5th Street Fighter character. And I was like, yes, thank heavens, we're not going to get a really joke character anyway, like that. So there you go, there's all the tweets from him. So, and then the first comment was exactly what I was thinking, it's gotta be Hagar, because he kind of fits the bill for the majority of those, and until they reveal that he's never been in a fight, like this will be his fighting game debut. But yeah, he's very much tied to the Street Fighter series. He's never been in a Street Fighter game before. He's been in Marvel, but he's never been in Street Fighter and Final Fight, of course. And so I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be Hagar then, because you know he kind of fits the bill and stuff. And once again, I don't think it'd be that bad. I don't think it'd be that difficult to port him over, because you know, thinking Capcom standards here, being easy to port is pretty much the main concern here. And then they revealed which one is it. It's this one, yeah. So they'll be making their fighting game debut, and so it wasn't going to be Hagar, as you can see in the picture. And so now I'm kind of confused, because those are the 2 things that came out, and then it was pretty much they were saying what else? There was some more stuff. So yeah, it wouldn't be Hagar. So who's it going to be? So we kept on flipping around, and then this is the final thing. This is the most recent thing that came out 2 days ago, and it said Ultra Street Fighter 4 Swift character is very much related to Street Fighter. So he's very much related to Street Fighter, but yeah, he's never been in a Street Fighter game as a fighter, and he'll be making his fighting game debut with this game. So it's very confusing as to who it's gonna be this time. So as you can see, the comments, there's a lot of comments here, and some of them are pretty stupid. Like people are saying, oh, it's gonna be Combo Fiend, or it's gonna be Hakan's mother, or Hakan's wife. Sorry, mother. I wouldn't like to see her. Oh dear. Anyway, like really dumb. Like I'm really upset if it's gonna be a really joke. Like Azura wouldn't have been as bad if they were gonna put Ono in it, because I mean, let's face it, he kind of fits the bill. He's very much relevant to Street Fighter, quite literally, as in he made Street Fighter 4 pretty much. He's very much related to Street Fighter. Well, that's pretty much the same thing. He's never been in a Street Fighter game before. No, he hasn't. They'll be making this fighting game debut. If it is him, I'm gonna punch a wall because that's an even worse character than Azura, just having Ono in the game. Like, what? Because I mean, he's that kind of like troll, like, you know, troll now. Of course, he's gonna be like that. So I really hope it's just not him. I might as well go out of the face cam views. There's not really much relevance to this anymore. And so I really hope it isn't Ono. I really hope it isn't one of those stupid joke characters. There were some more actual characters in here, like characters that I think the biggest bill now is going to be characters that have been in Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter games, but haven't actually been fighters. So people are thinking maybe Goken and Akuma's trainer. They're thinking who else? They're thinking like someone from a bookie, like maybe a bookie's teacher or something. Some of them are getting pretty ridiculous. Like, how about Ryu's dog's owner, or like flipping, you know, like Kami's twin's boyfriend, like some of the most ridiculous stuff ever. But if I was to think of stuff, I'd probably say like my best bet, not my best bet, but a character I'd quite like to see. And I've said this to a few people like I've been playing Street Fighter with recently. So I would actually quite like to see Dan's dad, Go Hibiki, I believe is his name, because apparently, according to Street Fighter, you know, story, he was like one of the most badass fighters in all of Street Fighter. And so having him in the game, you know, would be pretty funny because it'd be the irony of Go Hibiki being like such a good, powerful fighter. Okay, maybe not overpowered, but like just all of his moves look powerful and strong. Then having Dan with his Hadouken, Hadouken. Like if Go Hibiki had like the best fireballs and like really powerful stuff, you know, I would actually quite like to have that. That'd be pretty fun. But it would make sense because he's actually a Street. It's like having Goken in Street Fighter 4, where it makes sense because he is, you know, Dan's teacher, or not Dan, Ryu and Ken's teacher, and so stuff like that can make sense. And like we said, it's not going to be a completely new character, like in terms of a brand new story or anything, because he's been like they've been in Street Fighter 4 before, but they've never been a fighter, and they're very much related to it. So it's going to be a character that we've seen in Street Fighter, which I'm very happy about. So it's not going to be flipping anyone dumb. It's actually going to be relevant to Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter in general. Sorry, I can't say Street Fighter 4. I'm sorry. And so it's up in the air who's it going to be. Whether it's going to be, like, I'm trying to see. Yeah, there's Go Hibiki. Some people are saying people I've never even heard before. Let's see. Like people are saying King Cobra, who's Riva's old design, but he's not really. He hasn't been in like the Street Fighter universe first. I don't really think it's him. I'm not too sure. This is one of my favorite comments here. I might as well show you this one. It'll be a $50 bill card with a DLC Ultra and I'll take your money server. That's really funny. People are saying Shenlong, but Shenlong's Goken. Of course. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of the fifth character. As of this video, we don't know who he is, who he or she is. It could be a she, for all we know. Doesn't mean a female character yet as DLC. Or so, why am I saying that? I don't know. Poison and Elena. What am I thinking? So it'll be interesting to see what happens for this. So I guess that's it for this dose of the DAWG. It's relevant as of the time I've uploaded this. By the time I'll probably make another version of this, like maybe whenever the balance, whenever everything's finalized, probably. Like we know who the character is, we know the game modes, we know the balance changes. So I'll probably make another one and talk about my full thoughts. These are my thoughts, you know, week 1 of Ultra Street Fighter 4 being announced. In summary, I'm quite happy about it. I'm happy that it's finally getting a good update. But the fact that they're porting, you know, Street Fighter Cross Tekken stuff right over from the game to Street Fighter 4 is kind of annoying me, but at least it's still content, so I'll probably still get it, to be honest, because it is Street Fighter 4 and I don't want to, like I said, it's my favourite fighter, so, and I'm guessing this is going to be the final iteration, considering the next gen consoles come out before this DLC even comes out, so, I don't know, but anyway, my name's Pdaaaawg, hope you've enjoyed this dose of the DAWG, and I'll see you guys next time, so, see ya.